And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Glorious Reacts. Before we begin, I would love to introduce ourselves. My name is Arnold, your friend from down under, and I am joined by the Frilla from Manila, Joel. Say hi, Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
And our very own Singapore sling, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Arnold, Joel, what
Yeah.
did the sushi say to the bee?
Oh,
What?
No, what?
Wasabi?
Oh, I hope this is not gonna be a trend. This is just terrible. In this episode, we will avoid corny jokes. No,
I don't think we can
I
guarantee that.
don't think we can guarantee that. What we can guarantee is we will be joining the watcher as he looks through the multiverse at key events throughout the MCU that we've gotten very familiar with, but with a significant difference, giving us variant stories that show us possible answers to the titular question, what if? Without further ado, let's begin. Joel has an awesome recap for us, so take it away, Joel.
All right. So, what if episode 3 poses the question, what if the Avengers initiative as it was originally conceived never came to be? In it, the audience is left to wonder what will happen to Earth if its mightiest heroes start being killed off one by one before they can even hear a word of Nick Fury's "There was an idea" speech. While the heroes start falling like flies or wasps or maybe even yellow jackets. Do they do that? Do they fly or fall off or something
I
like
think
that?
so.
They
I
do.
think
Yeah,
so.
and,
Yes.
yeah. So anyway, Fury sends Black Widow off to try and find out who the killer is, while Loki arrives with a host of Asgardian soldiers to claim vengeance for the murder of his brother Thor. Natasha, or Black Widow, eventually finds out who has been scratching names off of Fury's list and is able to send off a not so cryptic message that probably should have and could have been more straightforward to tell him, but soon after is herself offed. Without much thinking, Fury figures out Nat's message and makes a deal with Loki to capture the killer, who turns out to be Hank Pym. Seeking vengeance for S.H.I.E.L.D. and Fury leading his daughter, Hope Van Dyne, to get KIA. Loki then uses his magic to subdue Pym, but later reveals that he had other plans after dealing with his brother's killer. What happens next is another consequence of the initial question, as Loki invades and succeeds in conquering Earth, claiming Midgard as his realm. The episode ends with Fury burying 5 of the original 6 MCU Avengers and seeking out to complete a new set, starting with 2 captains.
Sheesh. The death does not end.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start off with. I like Joel's likes, so let's start off with Joel.
Okay. All right. Still in my narrating voice.
That's fine.
All right. Okay. So anyway, yeah. One of the biggest likes that I've got is that they finally brought Coulson back to the MCU.
Yay!
I mean,
Yay!
he was, for me, he was a. I mean, he only came out in. He had his own one shot. That short that he had.
Oh yes. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he had that short, and then he came out in Thor 2, Thor 1, sorry,
yes.
and then Avengers.
Yep.
And a little bit here and there, and we really didn't get to see his personality until we got Agents of Shield. And I really liked his personality, and Clark Gregg as a person is such a nice guy to follow. I follow him on IG, and he's such a nice guy. It's so cool to have his character Coulson back for at least one episode. Especially the little quirks that his character had.
Yes, I mean that's what makes Coulson Coulson. And that's one of the things I highlighted my likes as well. It's like unmistakably him.
Yeah, it was so cool. I mean, his description of Thor, white Caucasian male,
Beautiful hair.
and he's gorgeous.
Sorry, he's gorgeous. Excuse me. It's like he comments on the hair, and then later on, obviously, he comments on how he smells.
Oh my gosh! Even though he's Even in death, he smells like lavender.
Exactly. We never got to see that bit because we did see a bit of him fanboying on Captain America, and that was
Which was pointed out very much here in this episode as well.
That was one part we
His-
never found out. I'm not gonna
The
give you my password.
that they had. Hashtag Steve. I love Steve 0704. That was such a.
So
I was
obviously,
laughing.
he was a fanboy even before they thawed Captain America from the ice.
Yeah.
So it must have been like a 70-year-old, far beyond before he was born.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was so fun to see Coulson and all of his quirks. Because the way that his character developed in Agents of Shield, it developed differently, and it became a little bit more serious there. But the Coulson that we had in the MCU before this, he was that. He was this quirky little agent guy, Shield agent with some really interesting fanboy
Tendencies. To be fair,
tendencies.
I mean, the first time we see him, which was in Iron Man 2, right?
Yeah, I am too.
Is that he already had that weird serious look that he was like some sort of automaton, like a robot without any feeling, and we see that pervade through the different episodes. We see him. So the ending of Iron Man 2 was the beginning of Thor. Was that it? Or when did we see that shot, that post credit scene wherein he shows the hammer? I can't remember when Thor was hinted. So was it after Iron Man?
I think it was.
One?
I think it was after I am too.
It was after Iron Man 2. Okay. So
I think
Iron
so.
Man 1, no, because Incredible Hulk. So Iron Man showed up in Incredible Hulk. So it was Iron Man, then Incredible Hulk, and then Iron Man 2. We have to remind ourselves of Phase 1.
Yeah. I
But anyways,
think we're gonna need to review all of the
that's it.
all of
that's
the
right.
phase one.
But we already saw him there, and he was very much an automaton. And then him finally getting a personality was super, super fun. And we explored that now. We see that it was explored more in Agents of Shield. You're right. There was a bit shown in the first Avengers movie. But now we actually see it full blown in this episode. I really appreciated it too.
Yeah, and I really love Clark Gregg as an actor. He's such a down to earth performer, and it shows. Even if it's just his voice they were able to translate the way that he is properly into a cartoon or a CG cartoon. Okay, so my next like, you mentioned this at the top of the episode. Yes, MCU is continuing to kill people, and they're continuing to kill them on screen.
It seems like
That is
that's
so
the
fun.
basis of what ifs. What ifs we kill this guy?
Yeah, it's like that. I mean, and then what if we kill these guys, they don't die, so they become zombies, right?
Wait, who died in the last one?
Nobody did.
Okay, all right.
Nobody
Yeah.
did. Probably Peter Quill.
Probably
because he gets
Collector.
He gets absorbed by ego.
Oh.
I don't know.
He got beat up. No, I think Collector just got beat up
Are you sure?
Karina put
Ah,
him
yeah,
inside
yeah.
the
inside one of those stasis pods or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Oh,
yeah.
no, someone did.
Ooh.
Black Dwarf? No.
Oh yeah.
Called Obsidian.
Called Obsidian.
Because the tree grew from
Yeah.
within, right?
Yeah, he got terraformed.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Right, that's true. Who cares?
So it's just it's fun to see Marvel taking these kinds of steps. You know, not being too Disney, stepping a little bit away from the Disney
Mold.
concept.
Mm,
Yeah, they're identifying that their audiences might not necessarily just be little kids who shouldn't see any of these things
yeah.
yet. So that was really cool. And for me, this was the first time that I think the pacing worked.
Yeah, you're right.
Better.
I was
Yeah.
trying to see, because there were two movies referenced in this episode. You'd actually think that the pacing would be even worse, but you're right. It actually does not feel as rushed.
Two
Yeah.
movies? No,
Thor
there
and
were three.
Avengers.
Incredible Hulk.
Three. Sorry.
But yeah, no, because it was already after
Avengers?
Incredible Hulk. This was already
no,
after.
but the
Incredible.
scene with
No, that
with
scene
Hulk
in the university.
in
That
the university,
was
that was
the
from
Edward
Hulk.
Norton
That was the
Incredible
Edward
Hulk.
Hulk, yep.
with Ross
Mhm.
going in.
The clapping of the
Oh,
tanks
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. That's it.
Yeah, we just don't have Abomination.
We don't have
Blonsky wasn't there.
well
Yeah.
because that scene didn't have him yet. But what we
No,
don't
but
have
that was
is,
where Blonsky got punched into a tree or something.
Pulverized. That's
but
when
that, anyway. But what we don't have is the daughter of Aerosmith.
no,
Liv
Liv Tyler
Tyler.
is not.
Yes,
That'll be one of my things I'll be highlighting because I was
Yeah.
so upset.
she's not there.
Yeah,
She's not
but
there.
I mean
So
that
upset.
Betty Ross
Yes.
is supposed to be there, and then we don't have ScarJo either. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever coming back. But anyway, so yeah, there you go. But the pacing for this one was pretty good. Yeah, considering that it was a lot of movies that they tackled a lot of the plots of a lot of movies, and what I think helped was the fact that they were actually telling the story in a matter of days, and then they had those like
The
markers.
Monday,
They had,
Tuesday.
they had a
Tuesday, Wednesday.
24 month.
Yeah,
They had
yeah,
a
that it
24
really
month,
helped.
yeah.
It really helped. I think it really told you, okay, chapter's done.
Gotcha.
And they
Maybe
really
you're right.
tried
Yeah,
to
you're right.
discuss the chapter properly.
You're right. You're right.
Right.
The scene swipes were very, very solid.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty good. That was for me. This is by far the best paced of the three. Right? It wasn't okay. Plot A to plot B, plot B to plot C. No, it wasn't like that because everything they tied up the story, and then that's when they moved to the next plot point.
Yep.
And then my last like, oh my gosh, this is in the entire phase 1 to 3 of MCU. We never saw him be a badass, but Fury was a badass even though it was just an illusion, even though it wasn't really him, but it was cool to see someone with Samuel L. Jackson's face and voice be a badass. Because
flip,
I'm not
like,
sure
there
if
was
he
like
could.
the flip.
Yeah, that flip was like really cool. And then he was doing
Motion
Neo. He was Neo. He was doing Matrix stuff.
No, but I kind of like him when he pulled out that minigun in his car, right? And then shot the Hydra agents. That was
That's
pretty
not
cool.
badass. That's not badass. It's not like martial arts kung fu badass.
It's
Okay.
him using hardware, which is kind of
Yeah.
like cheating. But you gotta forgive
Yeah,
the guy. He only has one good
the-
eye.
Yeah. But it was really cool to see him do like Neo stuff, Matrix stuff. Yeah, that was really fun to watch.
What
The
if
part that
Nick
I like about
Fury
that
was
was
a
every
superhero?
time. The part that I like about that was every time Yellow Jacket would fly towards him, he'd swat
He
him
just
like
swat him
yeah,
down.
he was like swat him with like a fly. It's like, oh my god, you better stop rushing in because he just gets swatted every
It
single
was being
time.
toyed with. Yeah, it was being toyed with.
That was so cool. It was like at first I thought that it was actually him.
Ah,
Especially with the first SWAT. Boom. Oh my gosh, Fury
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do that. But as the fight drew on, I was like, oh yeah, that's why he said he was making a deal with
Yes.
either
When
make
he
a
started
deal with
laughing, that was like, oh, okay, I know who that
and I was
is.
pretty certain it was him right away. It was Loki right away.
Oh really? Oh, yeah, I
But
I
because
didn't
his
get that.
questions was like, oh yeah, this is Fury asking because he's trying to
The
find
leading
out why,
questions, the
right?
leading
Yeah.
questions,
But
yeah.
then when he started laughing, it's like, oh okay, this is Loki.
with the first slap, I was certain already. It's like, oh no,
Oh, okay.
Fury
But I
couldn't
didn't
do
quite
that.
pick it up. I was just so enamored by the fact that Fury was being badass.
Yeah, I really thought that was Fury who slapped Yellow Jacket down.
Right? Yeah, it was really cool. And
Totally
I think
cool.
that what tipped me off was when he started saying that he didn't care about them,
yeah,
about
I didn't
the guys who
care
died.
about any of them.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, those are my likes. Yeah.
Leading off of that,
Oh, sorry. I the bullet point did come up. Sorry. One
yeah,
big
okay.
thing that I actually really did like is the fact that the Nexus event for this didn't happen during the episode. This is the first time in the three episodes that the Nexus event didn't
Yes.
happen during the episode.
It just looked like it because when you saw the donut scene, it's identical to what was shown in Iron Man 2, but it happened way before with
The death of
with
Hope
Hope
Van Dyne.
actually being
Actually,
part
not the
of
death.
Shield.
Hope joining Shield.
Hope joining
That's it.
Shield.
That's
That was cool. It added to the mystery that they wanted to that they wanted to. I think that this whole thing was a sort of wrapped in mystery
Yeah.
because they wanted to know. The whole thing was finding out who was killing off the Avengers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Nexus event, they misled us with certain things. Okay, something is killing them off. We don't actually know what's killing them off.
Yep.
And maybe that's the Nexus event.
Mm.
But actually, there was an actual Nexus event prior to
Right.
the story being
Because they're
told in the
pretty
episode.
good with aligning it with what was shown in Iron Man 2 and Thor, trying to get to the hammer,
Yeah.
with Clint being on his roost and all that. It was
Yep.
just very identical. So it was easy to think that there was some other nefarious force behind it. So that being said, I didn't see it coming. I did not expect it to be Yellow Jacket, to be Hank Pym.
Hank
As-
Pym.
Michael
Oh.
Douglas.
as Yellow Jacket, and thank God they got Michael Douglas. His acting there was really really good. His voice really came through. It's very hard to miss out. It's kind of like Samuel L. I think it was a far more interesting Yellow Jacket, to be honest. It was a far more interesting Yellow Jacket.
Yeah,
So
because he had purpose. The character had motivation and
the
purpose.
motivation was a lot stronger, apart from being, better than, apart from the old, the previous Yellow Jacket wanting to be more than, Ant-Man. This one felt a little bit more grounded, a little bit more realistic. And the fact that because of what happened to Hope, it led Hank down the path of developing the Yellow Jacket suit instead of the Ant-Man suit. I mean, the Ant-Man suit probably already exists. It's just that he decided to build a more aggressive one. You already noted that about Coulson, and I like it that it's Coulson's very Coulson here. The way that they killed the Hulk, I never would have thought of that. It was like, that actually makes sense, right? You get in him, you make something grow, and then he'll pop like a cherry, right? Sorry, not a cherry, a grape. So it's a very, very, very plausible way of killing the Hulk. And even Betty Ross was like, "What? He turned
can't
into
die.
green
He can't
goo.
die.
Yeah, he cannot die. He turned to
Yeah,
green."
you like overload his adrenaline. I think that's what happened, right? He overloaded
No,
his
he
adrenaline.
he threw the enlarged
And into the
disc to
heart.
the
To
heart.
the heart.
Yeah,
So
so the
he
heart
made the
grew.
heart- Yeah,
in size.
he made the heart pop because it grew too big.
from inside out. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Okay. Yeah. My way of thinking was that because the blood kept on because the heart was starting to grow bigger, the blood that was getting pumped was getting faster. The adrenaline was getting bigger and bigger. That's why he kept on growing. Because in the comics, that's what happens. Every time that you hit him, more adrenaline hits him. He becomes bigger.
It's
Actually,
physically massive.
yeah, he
Maybe
becomes physically more massive.
The-
It's
I
just
think
that this one, it went into overdrive, and then that's why he popped.
I think it was just more of he hyper accelerated the growth of the heart.
not the growth.
But that would have meant that
the physical size.
his physical size wouldn't have grown.
The
Yeah,
physical
no,
size.
because the heart became bigger than him. That's why he exploded from inside out.
Exactly. He targeted just the heart.
Just the heart. Yeah, he
That's
threw
why I
the
think
disc specifically to
Yeah,
the heart.
but wouldn't that also increase the pumping, and then again increase the pump of the blood, increase the adrenaline, make him grow in mass,
Probably, but I mean,
So
and make him
it,
explode?
probably, but I think it's more because it was an outside force rather than his internal body deciding to do that.
Yeah.
So his powers couldn't compensate. Whatever the cause was, he popped like a grape.
Also, maybe it probably is because of the accelerated growth was faster than the pumping of the adrenaline through his veins.
Remember, it's not growth; it's just physically the
size,
the
just
sizing of
enlargement,
the
right?
atoms were closer. Whatever. I've completely forgotten what his explanation for the Pym particles was.
Embiggen.
The highlights of Iron Man 2, I really liked. They showed Whiplash. It was cool. They showed They showed there was another one. There was another highlight. There was a highlight for Thor whipping Loki like a rag doll. That wasn't from Iron Man 2.
Hulk,
though, so,
Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah. Sorry,
That
Hulk.
was from the actual Avengers.
Yeah, the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So the highlights, I just really enjoyed that one. And finally, which is the main gist of the episode, I believe, is the fact that we established that the Avengers is an ideal, and I like this because it makes it opens up the door. Well, it doesn't open up the door because we're pretty certain it's going to happen by now, but it helps ease the fans of the first three phases who've gotten used to these 6 individuals plus their posse. For other members of the Avengers to show up and become the Avengers. So
For another team.
for a different team, for a different makeup. We saw a bit of that happen after Civil War when things shook up. We got Falcon instead. We got Vision to join in. We got Wanda to join in. So there was bits and pieces of that already, but the other characters were still very much front and center. But now that most of the characters, half of the team is practically it was only Tony. Sorry, it's only Tony and Captain America is and Steve who's gone. But we have to agree that they're posts, they're big posts.
And Black Widow.
Yeah,
And Black Widow.
And Black
So
Widow,
half,
that's
half
true.
of the original.
So it is half of the original. That's true. Half are gone already. And we now have a new Captain America for that. I think this is a great way to help establish that Avengers is not those 3. It's not those 6. It can be anybody because as Fury mentioned, he changed his there was an idea speech into the quote which I noted was the quotable quote for this particular episode, which is that it was an idea, the Avengers was an idea, but it was not an idea for a superhero team, but it was an idea of that when we needed, the heroes will come. Right? It doesn't matter who the heroes are, that we will find heroes. And you mentioned in your recap that he was in the process of continuing the Avengers initiative with the new roster, with the 2 captains, because Captain Marvel shows up. So that was a
cool misdirect, by the way.
Oh,
He
yes,
wipes
yes.
off
He wipes off.
welcome back, Captain. Then welcome back, Captain.
But he was
Then you
referring
hear-
to Carol.
that was a cool misdirect.
That was cool. I wasn't expecting, because him pulling out the pager, I didn't realize he brings his pager everywhere. it's always
in
in
the
the
glove
glove
compartment.
compartment.
It's the same. It's the
always
same
there.
place where he stored it
We never knew
during the
that.
snap.
Obviously, we never knew that until the very last in the end of Infinity War, that we actually, hey, there's a pager. What do you call that? And it's great, just great that they're establishing this so that when it's just unfortunate that I don't think everybody's gonna watch What If. It's just that a great way of reminding people that, hey, there will be more superheroes, and Avengers will remain, but the makeup will be different, and we'll get groups that will be called Avengers, but not quite the Avengers. Paul, go for it.
For my it's very simple. Very simple. I like that this is a whodunit theme. The theme of the episode is whodunit. So it's a mystery through and through. And it reminds me a lot of one of the most recent whodunit movies that everyone should be watching. I am blanking out.
Knives Out.
Knives Out.
Oh.
Knives Out. Yes.
For some reason, I knew that was what you were referring to.
Because it's so well done, and there's a lot of clues and red herrings, and it's just like one of those typical whodunit films, and I love the way they did it, and much to what Joel said in the last episode, that what was the title of that one? What if
T'Challa was
Star-Lord? Was a heist film. This was a whodunit film. So, and I love that. I hope they continue with the trend of having each what if film have a genre of its own, or base it off a genre movie.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the spy spy thriller. Is that a genre?
That is quite.
Yeah.
I
The
guess
spy
you could say
thriller.
that. Yeah.
More of it that kind of reflects the similarly how they did Winter Soldier, because I that's my by far my most favorite MCU film.
Same here.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my like. That's very simple because
Wow.
I don't think I can say much about anything else, and it's just a theme that's caught me. It really, I love that. And because I love whodunit as a genre. One last thing, the oh wait, that's a dislike. So I'm not gonna.
Okay. Cool.
Wow, Paul trying to bring down our runtime.
Let's go straight to let's help him out. Let's go straight to our dislikes. Joel, go for it.
Okay, so first things first. I don't know if this is. I think Paul somehow mentioned this, especially after the first episode. But and I don't know if I'm just noticing it now. But for some reason, the animation looks weird in this episode, especially the mouth movement. How? Yeah, I don't know if I'm only just like really focusing on what I'm watching nowadays, but especially for this episode. But the mouth
Romanov's
movement.
lips are extremely thick. It's thicker than
And
what I
it was
remember.
weird. It didn't quite like sync 100% with
With the
how they
audio.
were. The audio. I don't know if it's because of what I got. But yeah, it's not. It didn't quite work, and it started really looking like too much like a video game animation, especially the cars.
Yeah.
When they were like rolling out, it was so like that's so.
I mean, they ignored physics, right? They ignored physics totally.
So video game. It's such a video game graphic for me. It was weird. It was weird. What was also weird was this was the first time that we actually saw Uatu in the episode.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere. He was everywhere. He was watching over. This was the first time. And it's weird that they did it here.
Yeah. Instead of an
This-
outer space episode.
Yeah, and instead of the previous episode that was an intergalactic episode. This was really grounded. It was like Paul mentioned. It was a whodunit. But they have Uatu in the background watching. It was so weird. It was so weird seeing him. And
Maybe-
then
Maybe this is because of his lack of lines. We only hear him in the beginning, and that apart from the montage in the beginning, we only hear about him. Oh no! It was also sort of the montage, that one I mentioned about the highlights for the previous movies.
yeah.
That was the
He was there.
only time, and then in the end, I think.
But isn't that always the case?
No, he'd point out stuff here. This point is when things diverged.
Oh,
he'd
yeah,
have-
but
he'd-
because the divergence occurred
Prior.
before the episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but for me it was just so weird seeing him all of a sudden being more present.
We're just like,
But
hey,
it is a
Uatu is still
whodunit.
watching. Hey, Uatu
Might
is
be a
still
red herring.
watching.
He's the one who's actually killing off the Avengers.
It's not allowed to. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, yes. Speaking of like obvious things that should have been obvious, that whole cryptic message was so weird. Why did it have to be so cryptic? While Arnold, you said that they didn't actually quite figure it out that it was half Pym. I actually, especially when Natasha, right before Natasha figured it out and started hearing stuff behind her on the screen, you get a huge, not too subtle clue because Janet Van Dyne's name comes up, and it was the only weird name out of the whole the list.
The
so
file, yep.
Immediately when you see that, you start remembering. Okay, Janet Van Dyne, she got killed. She was killed in action. And
Janet or
then
Hope?
everything
I think it was Hope.
starts clicking.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
Hope?
but no, but Janet Van Dyne
That's
is
also there.
because Janet Van Dyne quote unquote died. That was why Hope became a Shield agent.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought I might be misremembering, but I thought I saw Hope's name, and then she had a cross on her.
Ah no, it was Janet Van Dyne, and then with the cross.
Okay.
So yeah, everything starts clicking. Okay, yeah, Van Dyne. Okay, they can grow small, and then all of the other things start making sense.
Yeah.
So and then the cryptic message. She just said it's Hank Pym, right? I mean, Pym showed himself.
There was two more
To her.
scenes. There's two more
Yeah, but
scenes
I
that
mean,
needed to
come
be
on.
established.
Why did it? Yeah, I guess they were following the whodunit theme, but
Tropes.
it
Yeah.
was just the trope, but it was just too for me. It was too. Come on, you kind of just said it's hope. It's all about hope. That's six words. It's
It's
Hank
Hank
Pym.
Pym.
That's 3 words.
Why are
Hank Pym killed them
why are you trying to put logic in movies?
because
When
it's still
when there
supposed
is
to be
none.
logical.
When,
Right? And then
things don't work out.
yeah, but yeah, it worked out well, but it still maintained somewhat that whole whodunit, that whole mystery. But
Yeah.
for me, the mystery, yeah, it could have been done quicker, faster, easier, and then different way.
I really liked the payoff when he suddenly showed up. It's like, what? So I guess I was the target audience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, and yeah, another one. My last dislike. Gosh, they really went all out, and then they even personalized the coffins.
I know.
So they made
Ah,
personalized logos per coffin.
that
Hulk with the Hulk
the
smash
with
with the
the
fist,
the hammer.
the hammer,
I
the
didn't
bow
even
and
read.
arrow.
Yeah, no. This is like marketing for Marvel's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so like, okay, what? Why are those like the logos in the Marvel game, in the Avengers game? No.
I know, but no, I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
I
so.
mean, yeah, it was weird.
I
Why
think
couldn't
it was-
it have been just like Shield logos?
I think
Yeah.
it
I
was
guess
in,
because they're not actual Shield agents.
Or
but then
Avengers
again-
logo, just the A.
But the Avengers was
hasn't
not
been
yet.
established yet.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
never
okay.
established yet.
Then just a normal
Normal
coffin.
coffin.
Yeah, normal coffin.
Yeah, we would have made the connection that those were the actual 5 guys who died, right?
Actually, you know, a little quick side. I think the only the Justice League movie, The Dawn of Justice, if I remember correctly, that scene where Bruce Wayne was looking at the files. He actually
Yep,
have
they had
icons.
Yeah,
logos.
it was actually also pretty
Yeah,
weird.
it's
That was
the
actually
same.
also pretty weird. That
Lex Luthor made logos
actually made
for each of
logos
them.
for
Yeah.
each of them.
I see.
It was sort of similar to that,
Okay.
but this one, yeah. Well, actually, that was a little bit weirder because why would someone actually do that?
Fanboys.
Uh,
Fanboys.
But it was just weird for those things, those coffins to have personalized logos. Like they really went, okay, what is his superpower? Oh, he smashes things, so we must put a fist.
We don't
And
know
they
who.
didn't even really make the connection that Thor was actually the guy who,
Yeah.
who
He was
needed
just
the hammer.
He's
Hammer.
just some beautiful Caucasian.
Yeah,
who was
they could
trying
have
to
put
grab
like hair, like
Like
yeah,
the Wella logo.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Right?
Wella logo.
They should have put the Wella logo with the
Yeah.
flowing hair.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, those were my dislikes.
My dislike was more around the voices, and we've already established here there was no Liv Tyler. I was really sad about that. There was no RDJ for Iron Man. There's no ScarJo. We kind of Paul has some comments about that one, and there's no William Hurt. So it's just more because these are the iconic sounds. They managed to get most of the people, and oh my gosh, they even got, even if it was just for a split second, they even got who was the voice for Ego? Who was the voice for Ego?
Yeah.
So,
Ego?
Ego, yes.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. So even if all he did was say, "Hello, Peter," I mean, they managed to still get it. So I was just wondering why some of these guys didn't decide to replace
No, Hello
him.
Peter's from the Spider-Man trailer, man.
Oh, that's true. Hello, was it? what
Hello
was-
Son. I think he said Hello Son.
That's true. And then I just found it a little bit weird that I guess this is them trying to match things up, but we have Mark Ruffalo reprise his role as Bruce Banner, but he changes into the Ed Norton flowy hair. version
Yeah,
of
with
Thor.
the
It's like, what? Why?
Instead of the
They could
buzz
have
cut.
just- yeah, they could have just gone with the buzz cut because it's, we already know who.
Maybe the Hulk didn't get his haircut until after the Incredible Hulk movie.
Okay, I don't think the Hulk cares about his hair. So, yeah,
it's a competition between
do.
him and Thor.
We do, because we were it was just like, oh, it's goofy Mark Ruffalo Bruce Banner, but then he turns into flowy hair Ed Norton Hulk. So it's just a minor gripe. Paul.
So my dislike was I was able to guess who the killer was
Yeah.
before the
Didn't work for
reveal.
you.
So that was like
when.
when
when Tony Stark died, I figured it out.
No, no,
I
no.
knew
So
immediately.
when Betsy Ross, is it Betsy Betty?
Betty.
When she said that the injection, the fluid inside the
Fluid.
injection
Something
wasn't even
exploded, yeah.
wasn't even
Didn't even reach.
discharged.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't even used. And then so that's like, okay, so that means that but the tip exploded, right? So and then when Hulk died, I confirmed it. When how Hulk died, it's like, okay, they can't kill Hulk from the outside, so
Once
they'd
he's
have to
Hulk,
do it
yeah.
from the inside.
Once he's Hulk.
So it's like, okay, then when I saw him like balloon, like, oh, okay, I know who did it.
So they basically did to Hulk what a lot of fans were saying should have been done to Thanos.
Yes. Exactly. Ant-Man go down his throat and then just grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That is exactly it. You're right.
But I made a mistake on, so I guessed who it was, but I made a mistake on what he was gonna be wearing. So I was like, oh, this is Ant-Man. I didn't know it was
It
yellow.
didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The yellow jacket was just more appealing as
It
an
was
evil.
It's more offensive.
offensive.
No, not
More of a
offensive
villain,
in
more
like
villainous.
it was more offense oriented.
Yes. Exactly.
So yeah. So that was my only dislike, because I want to be guessing the whole way through. Like the who done it. Actually, even in Knives Out, I kind of halfway guessed it, I guess. But in the end, I still wasn't
not
so
gonna watch
sure.
a movie of Who Done It with you. You'll be like, it's like this.
No, but I don't say it out loud. So, but I wasn't sure until the very end.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the problem with Knives Out. It still kept me guessing. But this one is like, after the Hulk dies, like, I know who did it. Like, okay. But yeah, that's my only dislike. Apart from that, yeah, this is by far my favorite What If.
Of the three, I have to
Yeah,
agree.
of the three.
I have to agree.
So
the
far.
Let us go then to our theories. I'm surprised that Joel has so much.
Yeah, because I'm making up for not having any last week.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
So I've got tons of theories now. Okay, so I've got 3 categories, guys.
Uh-huh.
So first, let's go with a bit of a reach, but it would be cool to see.
All right.
Right. So first things first. I think that we are possibly going to see a council of captains. So we're gonna have Captain America,
Yes.
Captain Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
and the episode 1 Captain Carter. I think that because this is everything's gonna get tied up towards the end, all 3 captains are gonna be together, and then it will be a cute thing to see Captain America and Captain Carter together. And then Steve noticing that, oh gosh, Peggy, but she's buff. Right?
Wow, what big shoulders you have.
And I think we're gonna see all of that, and then hopefully, we're gonna see a Captain Britain, an actual Captain Britain. So we're gonna see a council of captains. That's my a bit of a reach, but it would be cool to see, only because we were already introduced to Captain Carter in episode 1, and yeah, hopefully we get them together, and possibly even bring in Captain Barbell from Philippine comics to be part of that. But yeah, that's like so too much of a reach.
Too much of a reach. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My next category is the not so reach. So it's just there. It's just right. Okay. My not so reach. There are 2. I actually have 2 not so reach theories, and it is first, all of these what if scenarios are actually being put together by an external force, trying to experiment with what would actually happen to try and see what is the optimal way for them to conquer the universe or multiverse. Emphasis on conquer. So yes, there is. I have that idea, because I already pointed it out after episode 1. That I do expect a certain conqueror to show up in What If sooner or later, and I think that all of these what ifs is him pushing things a little bit one way or the other, just to see. And this is possibly me being influenced by the what was that, the series, the comic book series where Mr. Manhattan in the DC universe, he would deviate certain things just to see what would happen.
Doomsday Clock.
Doomsday Clock. Yeah. It took so long to finish, took over a year to finish that series to finish. But it was the end was the payoff is very good. But anyway, so yeah. So in that comic book series, Mr. Manhattan tweaked the different multiverses of the DC multiverse just by a little bit, just to see what would happen. And I think something similar is happening here. But the idea is not for that person just to see what happens, but for that person to know how he can conquer the universe or the multiverse best.
Right.
Right? And connected to that, although not entirely connected to that, this is closer to the Mr. Manhattan thing, is that Uatu is not necessarily a passive person in all of this. I think that he actually is the one causing the Nexus events to try and see, just to try and see how things will turn out. He's just playing around.
Doesn't that go against his code of some sort?
He's done that though.
So this
in
is
the comic book.
sandbox.
I did not
This
know
is a
that.
sandbox.
I thought
Yeah, he's
watchers
done that.
were just
He's-
really watching.
Yeah, but he's done that in the comics. He's done that. He's actually helped the
He's
Fantastic Four.
superheroes.
interfered. He's interfered.
He's interfered
he,
and he's
he helped
been
the Fantastic Four
he's
beat
been-
Galactus.
he's been reprimanded for it. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. And then this is my absolute reach. This entire What If series is actually a young boy playing with his toys in a live action universe, just like in the Lego movie.
No,
Mark my words, it's gonna turn out like that.
that's
Because there's a reason why
probably-
they're doing it like CGI.
it's probably, and if that's the case, that's probably gonna that young boy is probably gonna be Franklin Richards.
I thought.
Yeah,
so. I
probably
thought you
Franklin
bring it
Richards,
into-
Because he
Yeah.
bends
Yeah.
reality, right?
Bends
and
reality.
one of the comic books I remember seeing him play with Batman, as in a Batman toy. He does reference it as a Batman action figure
Oh, in the Marvel.
So
universe.
in the
Interesting.
in the comic books. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, but then again, yeah, because DC is a universe in the Marvel,
Marvel and
universe,
Marvel. Yep.
Marvel is an
Gotcha.
Earth in the.
Gotcha. My expectation actually is quite 180 to what Joel established. So he's still believing that we'll have an overarching like plot somewhere there. In my case, I'm starting to see the value in this season. At least this season, we have a confirmed second season already for What If. So I think for this particular season, it's just going to be episodic stories that don't have anything in relation with each other. But we may have something in the season ender that may point to a bigger thing. What I'm saying is essentially that in my expectation, the first 2 episodes is that we'll slowly start seeing bits and pieces of a bigger story across every episode. And then towards the end, we will see those bits and pieces highlighted and show, hey, these are all related to each other. What I'm thinking now is that these episodes will remain episodic, purely in this multiverse, this thing happened. This multiverse, this thing happened. And at the end, then maybe we'll get nuggets of there is something bigger happening, but not directly referencing any of the past 8 episodes. 8? 7, 8. There's 9 episodes or 8 episodes in this season?
I think it's 8. I'm not sure.
It was supposed to be 9, and I think they did not finish the 9th. They pushed that to the second season because COVID happened, and so I think we're getting 8. Okay, maybe it's 8. And we'll only be getting a bit of a cliffhanger towards the end to prep us for the second season whenever that comes out, and only just a that's when stuff like a certain conqueror might be showing up, or a certain wayward Loki might be showing up, or maybe
Or Mephisto
Oh.
will show up.
exactly we're keeping on the fire. So not an overarching thing that we can discuss as we watch the episodes go. It's more of like in the last episode, hey, now we kind of get why these things are happening, and maybe we'll get not understand, but more of just an inkling of that something's going on. I also believe that we'll be seeing more Uatu incursions. Incursions meaning he's just gonna show up in the background, randomly show up in the background.
He's gonna show up like a
a giant mosaic
bobblehead somewhere, a Funko Pop somewhere.
shows up in front, in the corner of our screens, goes like that.
Yeah.
No, I think we'll see more of that one. It'll be whatever that means. I have no idea. It's gonna be cute. We'll just be in the background. Paul, go for it.
Okay, so I wrote down something, but
You're changing
I
your
take
mind.
it back.
Oh,
I changed my mind because of what Joel said. And not because of what he said specifically, but was while he was explaining the Council of Captains. I'm trying to recall the scene where, so at the end of Captain Carter, we don't actually know if she came out of the portal in the same universe, right? So or is it a change in time or a change in actual universe? So since you were mentioning the Council of Captains, I was thinking maybe when she came out after fighting the tentacle monster,
Space Kraken.
the Kraken, she came out in this universe, the one that we're seeing right now. But then if that's the case, why wasn't she shown while Yellow Jacket was assassinating it? Because here Clint was still alive. So I don't know. So it's like more 50-50. But
I think if I remember correctly, Clint recognizes Captain Carter. It's like, sir, that's Captain Carter. In that scene. So I think it's in the same universe at the very least. Plus, in this particular universe, we have a shield with a star.
With a star, yes.
So,
but see if Captain Carter was ported from a different universe.
From a different universe.
Yeah, she brought her shield with her. So in this universe, Steve was still Captain America,
gotcha, yeah.
and then she just ported it. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm still hoping, against all hope, that in the end they're all stitched together, because I kind of like that. There's an overarching theme, and then each episode is standalone. I don't know, but because of this, it made me think that maybe they're not going to do that, or they'll do that, but they'll do that to start the next season.
Yes. So that's roughly the same thing that I think now that's what's gonna happen. They're just gonna make it a straight, simple retelling of various MCU stories.
But I like the Lego movie
Right?
reference of
Right?
I like that. I like it. And
And
I like
bring
that.
in Will Ferrell again to be the dad. Right?
If that's the case, I want them to show FF. I mean,
That
it has to
could be how
FF.
they introduce
Yeah.
Fantastic
Fantastic-
Four.
Fantastic
So
Four,
you'll
yeah.
have Nathan Richards there, and then you'll have John Krasinski, Reed Richards coming in.
I hope that's
Right?
the case. I don't think that's gonna happen
Right.
though.
No, not yet.
Emily
Too
Blunt
soon.
as the
That's-
Invisible Woman.
Too soon.
That's why I'm saying it's like my absolute reach.
His
Right?
reach that will come in fruition in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
That
And
is
also
it.
we've already seen Mephisto.
Our show.
He's in the
I'll
Spider-Man
cut you
trailer.
off right
He
there.
is.
Thank you again to Paul and Joel for joining me in sharing thoughts, ideas, impressions, and theories on this episode of What If? I ask you, dear audience, how would you have retold this particular story? Next time, we continue traveling through the multiverse, reliving the familiar as new variant stories. What changes to key MCU events are you still keen to see? We'd love to hear your ideas. As always, dear audience, we hope you tune in to the next episode and continue to hang out with us. Till then, bye.